the Top of the Peak tournament here at Glacier Peak High School. We're in the holidays, and it's the championship game between the Lewis and Clark Tigers and the Glacier Peak Grizzlies. Tom Lafferty along with Coach Randy Edens. We'll talk to him in a moment from the Greater Spokane League, the Lewis and Clark Tigers. Their head coach is Gabriel Medrano. He's with Alex on the sidelines.
Coach, three-day tournament away from Spokane. What's been the experience like for you and your team?
It's been wonderful. You know, we talked about why we wanted to do something like this. You know, the girls have goals about getting back to state and wanting to be there and you know, play for a title. And we're like, you know, that's 3 days. That's hard work. You're playing a great team every day. You're away from home, and this has been that experience we were looking for. Great teams, great games, and just learning how to play through that adversity and challenge. So it's been awesome. It's been a wonderful tournament.
Seeing Glacier Peak play in person and on film as well, what's really stuck out for them?
Just their team speed and the way they are just flying to the basketball. They rebound hard. They're on the floor for loose balls, trapping. They're just fast, and they just get the ball up the court quick, and they're coming at you quick on defense. So it's been really impressive.
Awesome. Thanks for the time, Coach. Good luck today.
There we go. That is Coach Gabriel Medrano of the Lewis and Clark Tigers, and Alex will make his way over to talk with the 11th year head coach here at Glacier Peak High School, Brian Hill. And we're going to go right back down to Alex with the coach.
Making me work hard for it, walking sideline to sideline. Coach, what's it feel like, three-day tournament? You're the host playing in the championship game.
That's kind of what we told the team. I go, hey, it's nice to be in the championship game of our own tournament. Really, I just wanted some good games for us. I wanted some good games for our other teams. I think it's turned out to be a great tournament. So
I've heard nothing but great things from all the coaches. LC, tough team, been there, done that, got the T-shirts. What's your number one key to stop them today?
We played them in regionals last year, and they took it to us pretty good. It was a long drive home. So we're hoping, you know, we got to slow down Buckley for sure. And they got some great outside shooters. They're a solid team, so it'll be a good one for us.
Awesome. Thanks for the time, Coach.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you very much, Alex. With both head coaches, let's bring in Coach Randy Edens of the Lake Stevens Vikings girls team. And you've seen both these teams, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean they.
Glacier Peak maybe too close, right?
Yeah, annually. The last couple years actually 3 times a year. So we know Brian real well. He does a great job with those young ladies. Obviously, transitioned to a new group after graduating, at least 3 or 4 key players for them, and they're just kind of reloading, playing I think a little bit faster. Maybe not the interior presence, which I think is going to be a challenge for them today. If Lewis and Clark's going to have the success, can they manage that? You know, the speed is going to be really important for them, kind of as we saw with the previous game in Sunnyside Chihuahua. If they can dictate their kind of tempo and pace, I think it's to their advantage. If Lewis and Clark can be deliberate with what they like to do, then they're going to have the success. Lewis and Clark, you know, traditionally, geez, they're one of the standards in girls basketball. You know, a few state titles with Jim Redmond previously, and it seems like annually a state tournament team.
So, yeah, the Lewis and Clark Tigers, first place in 2011, first place in 2008 and 2007 and 2006. They know how to play basketball in the Greater Spokane League.
Yeah, no question. They get tremendously tested there over in the GSL, and obviously to try to find a little variety in their schedule, that's why they made the trek way over here to the west side of the mountains. The kind of matchup between these two schools after having met in the regional last year is really interesting because they're going to know each other fairly well. Obviously, the players have some familiarity with each other, not only, of course, from last season, but also from the summer. Sonoma hosts a summer tournament here where they traditionally come to and are a part of this. And so should be a great contest tonight. I'm looking forward to it.
Let's take a look at the starting lineups for the Lewis and Clark Tigers. They're wearing the white jerseys, but we're still not sure whether they're going to be home team on the scoreboard. For Lewis and Clark, they'll start Kaylee Bishop, Jacinta Buckley, Andy Zilak, Dominique Arquette, and Ariana Reed. For Glacier Peak, they'll start Haley Grambo, Madison Rubino, Sydney Guffey, Alea Collins, and Maya Erling. Glacier Peak and Lewis and Clark in the championship game here at the Glacier Peak tournament. And we talked about it in the previous game, and just about every game that we've seen here so far over the weekend. You talk about Division I commit, Jacinta Buckley, going to UNLV.
Yeah, no question. Her athleticism, her ability to get her own shot, and obviously she's going to be the #1 for Lewis and Clark to get off to a good start. If she can get things going, she can start to rely on teammates and start to spread the ball around, and that makes them much tougher to guard and compete with.
The officials, Steve Landro, Romeo Escalona, and Riaz Kanji. And we are getting set for today's opening tip-off and game action. We will take a break and come back with the game. We get underway. The championship of the Top of the Peak tournament. It's Glacier Peak and Lewis and Clark right here on STSPN.com.
Number 44. When you shop at Ace Hardware in Everett and Lake Stevens, we'll help you find what you're looking for and offer friendly advice too. Owners Greg and Christine are all about serving their customers and their community. They support local high school sports and many other community organizations and events. So the next time you need help with your to-do list or project around the house, bring it to Ace. They'll greet you at the door and help whatever you need, fast. Show your support for locally owned businesses. Shop Ace Hardware, just off Highway 9 in Lake Stevens and Evergreen Way in Everett. Ace is the place for the helpful hardware folks.
Riaz Kanji is the official. I love it.
He does a good job.
Welcome back. As we mentioned, the official Steve Landro, Romeo Escalona, and Riaz Kanji. Riaz worked the first game today, back here for the championship. Steve Landro, who's worked every level of basketball ever invented, from college basketball to girls 8th grade. He'll be out there. If there's a game, he'll call it.
You do what you got to do. You got to have a love for it. And these guys certainly do. That's why you see him all the time.
He also works, by the way, with the kickers on the Seahawks sidelines. Every Seahawks home game.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's down there every Seahawks home game.
How do I get those gigs? I want a gig like that.
Administering the kicking balls and things like that down at the Seahawks game. He almost got hit by the basketball here as we are underway. Lewis and Clark from the Greater Spokane League. Glacier Peak from the Western Conference 4A. And they go down low to Reeves, who kicks it back out for a 3-ball that will not go from the top for Arquette. And it will be ball out of bounds, and it'll be Lewis and Clark basketball at the baseline. Long inbounds feed. Looking for Reeves, can't find her. Ball knocked away. It'll be Glacier Peak basketball. Let me guess, saying the ball knocked away, Glacier Peak has the ball. I'm going to say that a lot tonight.
If they are going to have success, yes, that's going to be really important for them to try to create more possessions. Is what they like to do.
Ball goes out of bounds. Haley Grambo couldn't find the handle on it. Goes out of bounds, and it'll be last touch there by Glacier Peak. It'll be Lewis and Clark basketball. We did find out Jacinta Buckley was our player of the game last night. Averages 19.4 points per ball game. We mentioned going to UNLV. Ariana Reeves is her cousin.
Interesting.
So they've known each other since forever.
And a little 4-round one for Lewis and Clark, trying to feature the post there.
And there is Dominique Arquette for a 3. And the first 3 points of the ball game goes to Lewis and Clark. This should be a good ball game, by the way.
Yeah, no question. It's going to be interesting to see if Glacier Peak decides to bring a double. And if that's the case, can she pass out of the double and find that open look like they did on that previous possession?
They swing a pass over to the left-hand side. Collins with it. Collins is a good player. She's only a sophomore. That'll be a thorn in your side for the next couple of years, right?
Yeah, I wish you could have said she was a senior. That would have helped me out a lot more.
Little runner there, wouldn't go. The shot clock was running out so quickly down the floor. So it will be Lewis and Clark in Glacier Peak's gym will be the home team, as they're listed up by 3-0 score with a home. It's got to be confusing to the guys on the bench too.
Yeah, no question. I think it's probably just more a uniform issue, helping Lewis and Clark out with the laundry, if you will. But one of those things that kind of comes with the territory. 3 days. I don't think very many squads have 3 uniforms out there.
Right. Guffey picks up the foul, first personal, first team foul. Both free throws no good there by Andy Zylak, and it'll be Glacier Peak basketball. 3-0 lead for Lewis and Clark on Glacier Peak's home floor, their home tournament, and then the championship game. As they work it around, Collins goes around the screen, dumps it over left-hand side for a backdoor laying up and good for Madison Rubino.
Looked like she wanted to take that little 8-footer and decided, I think I'm going to take this to the basket.
Open three, look for a corner, will not go. That's a miss there by Arquette, and a reload here, and she gets it back. So fresh 30 on the shot clock. We're at 5:35 to go opening quarter. A 3-2 lead for Lewis and Clark. And Tigers with the basketball. Out of Spokane, turnaround off the glass. No good by Buckley. And Buckley will get it back. Kind of a no look, was dumping it down low to Reeves. Ball went out of bounds. Last touch by Glacier Peak.
I like both teams' activity here early. Different contrast. Chihuahua seemed to get off to a slow start just because it didn't seem like they were ready for the gameplay. Both of these teams are ready to go from the outset.
As they work it around to the left side, trying to lower the arm there to get some space. There is Zylak. Ball knocked away. Grabbed by Glacier. There we go. Ball knocked away. Grabbed by Glacier Peak.
Great back cut there. Just fumbled out of her hands and into GP's hands moving the other direction.
Grambo swings it right side to Rubino. They'll check it to Erling. Now they go down low. That's Rubino. That won't go. Buckley grabs the rebound. Up the floor. Here comes Lewis and Clark. LC goes in, laying up good. Went around the defender, and the bucket is good.
Number 15.
It was Zylak with the bucket. Open, Grambo for three. Bang! Down it goes for Haley Grambo.
Really important for Glacier Peak. If they can get Grambo to hit a few threes today, that's going to really help balance out some of their scoring and go-tos that they traditionally are comfortable with.
We're tied at 5, 4:08 to play. Knocked away by Grambo. Bodies on the floor. Somebody was out of bounds, and it's going to be the Glacier Peak will have the ball. And we'll have some substitutes checking in for both teams. So both teams will work it around to some new players. Grambo will throw it in. 30 on the shot clock. 4:04 to play. First quarter, a 5-5 score. Shea Sandy had the ball and then a push foul. And they'll call this one on Kaylee Bishop. That'll be her first personal foul, first team foul. Halfway through the first quarter, the championship game of the Top of the Peak tournament here at Glacier Peak High School. On top of the key is Collins. And then the ball went out of bounds. Couldn't handle it. It'll be LC ball. Late on the horn. It's about 4 or 5 times that's happened today, by the way. Late arrival to the bench and not allowed to come in. There's a runner, won't go. But a foul called, so that will put Dominique Arquette at the free throw line. And the foul will be on Shea Sandy, her first personal foul, second team foul.
For Lewis and Clark, number 20, Dominique.
Seemed like Dominique was in between shooting that or passing that. Heard the whistle and decided just to throw it up to the rim. Got free throws out of the deal.
Arquette's first free throw is good. Lewis and Clark to the lead at 6-5. Next one is good as well. Hit them both. The lead is 2. Lewis and Clark's had the only lead in this ball game. They led by 3 early on, lead by 2 now. And Glacier Peak with the ball. Cross court near side to Smith. And here's Buckley with the steal. Jacinta Buckley takes it away and double dribbles. Could never really get the handle after the steal, and she double dribbles and turns it right back over. That's 4 turnovers for both teams.
Oh, one of those things as coaches, we always tell our kids, pick the ball up first, and then you may dribble it. Okay, dribbling a bouncing ball, one of those pet peeves. Secure it first.
So Glacier Peak with the ball. 3 ball won't go for Smith. And the rebound controlled by Lewis and Clark. Boy, looking at the 3, didn't take it, was Arquette.
Ball out of bounds, Lewis and Clark basketball.
And if you're confused, don't be. Glacier Peak is the visiting team on their home floor in this tournament, so they're wearing the dark uniforms at home. the white uniforms for Lewis and Clark with the orange trim. They bring it down for a 3-ball, deep 3 that rims out, no good. Miss in the corner there by Bishop. Back up by Buckley, won't go. Gets her own rebound, back up, won't go. Almost got her own rebound, and Coach Edens was looking for a foul.
Yikes. There's got to be something there. She doesn't shoot that poorly. A little contact, something.
On the other end, Collins will try to, and she will, give Glacier Peak their first lead of the ball game, up 8-7 off the 3-ball by Collins.
Leah's grown so much as a player, and if she can continue to add that 3-point shot to her game, she's just going to continue to grow in terms of her college prospects.
Wide open. You can't leave a D1 commit with that wide open.
No, I love her game. Buckley's just one of those that just has a good feel, recognizes the opportunities that are in front of her, and is going to take what the defense gives, and that's the sign of a good player. You're going to get defended in all different types of ways, and when you have the open ones, that's when you really want to make other teams pay.
Glacier Peak commits the turnover. It'll be Lewis and Clark basketball. Inside 2 minutes now to play in this first quarter. A 10-8 lead for Lewis and Clark. Buckley, and the ball knocked back to her. She got it back, but then stolen away. Grabbed by Glacier Peak. Malia Smith out of backcourt. Baseline. Shea Sandy won't go. Battle for the rebound. She has it. That's Erling. Back out to the top for a 3 that will go. Down it goes for Malia Smith. And back to a lead for Glacier Peak. 11-10 the score, minute 10 to play in the first quarter. Buckley back to the basket. Overplay on the defense, knocked away, but grabbed back by Lewis and Clark. Zylak down to 8 to shoot. Long outside 3, ball rattles off, no good. And it'll be controlled by Glacier Peak. Grizzly basketball down by 1 on their home floor in the championship of their home tournament. Dribble in, no. Missed by Grambo. Kick it back out. Hip-hop move through the lane, no good by Holloman. And it's going to come down into the hands of LC. Tigers with it. 21 on the shot clock. 27 on the game clock. Little spin move there. Tough defense here by Glacier Peak. Down to 10 seconds to go. Buckley finds an open player underneath and quickly converged upon is Jamin Sides, and she's going to go to the free throw line.
That was a fantastic pass. Again, one of those where, you know, most of these players are going to take that tough contested shot. She had the foresight to kind of dump that down low, pick up some free throw opportunities for a teammate.
Sandy with the foul, second personal foul, third team. First free throw won't go. Now both coaches will sub in here the final 15 seconds of this first quarter. Next free throw won't go either. So Sides missed them both. It remains a 1-point lead for Lewis and Clark. A chance for the lead here. Final 8 seconds of the quarter. Dribble in, down to the baseline, down to 2, down to 1. They're not going to get a shot off. And the first quarter will expire in a hard-fought ball game. And it's 11-10. Lewis and Clark leading Glacier Peak. Back with more from GPHS after this on STSPN.com.
You know, I've been wanting to buy this truck, and I've been so busy with work that I haven't been able to make it into the dealership. Well, Rairdens of Monroe is actually bringing the vehicle to me. I gotta go. It looks like it's here right now. I'll call you back.
Too busy to schedule a test drive? Rairdens of Monroe will bring the test drive to you. It's part of our new concierge service. Personalized car shopping built for today's customer. It's another reason why Rairdens of Monroe is a customer service champion. Let us know what we can do for you.
Every year, thousands of groups depend on Adrenaline Fundraising to help reach their financial goals. Adrenaline Fundraising is about developing leaders through commitment, work ethic, and follow-through. Adrenaline has several products including gold cards, coupon books, cookie dough, donation programs, and many other options to help teams raise the funds needed for their programs. Adrenaline's new app called UpPay will help teams raise money while providing their supporters the ability to earn cash back on everyday purchases. at places like Starbucks, Nike, Red Robin, and over 200 plus national retailers. Adrenaline Fundraising is this season's sponsor of the STSPN's Play of the Game Award.
Well, just a little taste of Jack and Diane by John Cougar Mellencamp. Back to action we go here at Glacier Peak. Little runner with the left hand, no good by Collins. Rebound controlled by Lewis and Clark. Quadruple teamed under there as they get it back. Glacier Peak does. Offline shot won't go for Collins. And a foul is going to be called. We're going back the other way. Alex Clossie is down on the sidelines. A little more energy in this ball game.
Yeah, I was just about to say that, Tom. When you have LC and their entire bench kind of almost doing like a softball chance and getting kind of rowdy over here, then you have the home team of a tournament where everyone's parents and friends can come out game. You can't really here, which is great to see.
So the foul was on Rubino, first personal foul, fourth team foul. Tom Lafferty along with Coach Randy Edens of Lake Stevens. Alex Flosius, Buddy Patrick on the stats. Glad you're with us here, and we're going to call a foul. She doesn't like it. Maya Erling is going to be called for the foul, going after the basketball. That was a fairly decent call.
Yeah, it was a great call. You can't displace somebody from the basketball. 9 times out of 10, the official's going to blow the whistle on that one.
First personal foul, fifth team foul. So it's LC Ball trying to force the situation there is Sativa Rogers. She went to the deck, and the foul is going to be on Aaliyah Collins. Her first personal foul, sixth team foul, 6-1 the fouls on the inbounds now. So the rest of the way, Lewis and Clark will be in the bonus. Working it is Rogers. The little runner with the right hand won't go. Own rebound, back up, it won't go. So a couple of shots there for Arquette, missed them both. Outlet pass for Glacier Peak. Grizzly ball down, banker won't go for Erling. Flagged down from going out of bounds.
Ball out of bounds.
Actually, then they ended up throwing it off of, Jamin Sides did, off of a Glacier Peak player, so it'll be Lewis and Clark basketball. LC brings it up. 6:40 to play first half. A 1-point ball game. No points yet here in the second quarter. Long cross. Boy, she looked at it.
She needed to make one more. She had a wide open teammate there in the corner.
Down to 4 to shoot. Dribbling in. Offensive foul. That also a good call.
Yeah, very much so. You'd like to see the guard there take a jump stop. She committed that secondary defender, drop that pass. Now that's a lay-in there for Lewis and Clark if she keeps her feet.
Sativa Rogers' first personal foul, second team. Second team, as we mentioned, 6 already on Glacier Peak. So Lewis and Clark in the bonus the rest of the way in the half. A little feed down low. Looking for Guffey. Ball went out of bounds. GP keeps it.
Clark, number 13,
Jacinta Buckley comes back in, as does Ariana Reeves.
44, Anna Reeves.
Scoring here has gotten to be a little bit of a premium. Having stuck on 11-10 here for a stretch.
Looking for the inbound, and a bad pass. Stolen away. That quick speed here by Lewis and Clark, and then slipped. She traveled with the basketball.
Traveling violation, Glacier Peak basketball.
Probably waited too long to decide what to do with the ball.
Well, I also thought she took about 5 steps at half court there before she put the ball on the floor. Maybe that was just me. Somebody that quick, I don't know that kind of speed anymore.
Yeah. Nice step through move, a miss there for Rubino, and it'll be LC ball. Feed it right side, but it's intercepted. It's going to be grabbed there by Guffey. And Glacier Peak will have it. We're at 5:35 to go in the half, and we've yet to score here in the second quarter. Grambo almost traveled. Unsure what to do with the basketball. That's Collins in the corner. They bounce it underneath. Ball goes out. Ariana Reeves says, I'll go get it. So it'll be turned over to Lewis and Clark. No look pass to the baseline, cross court, nice ball movement there, but they can't complete it. Can't finish. Caitlin Peters with the miss off the nice pass by Rogers, and Glacier Peak brings it up. Down by a point on their home floor. Left side Erling. Collins. Grambo turns, face, fire, three.
Three-point basket, number 1, Haley Grambo.
That's her second one of those. Again, she's kind of the X factor. If she can provide GP with some consistent scoring, they become that much tougher to guard, compete with here moving forward.
So a 4-point lead for Glacier Peak. And a foul called.
Fouls on number 44.
And the foul is going to be on Ariana Reeves, her first personal foul, third team foul.
Lewis and Clark, number 15, Andy.
That's a really tough foul call. I thought, again, just went up straight for the ball. They're calling her for a push there. Going to have to let that one play out, I think.
14-10, the lead for Glacier Peak. I was messed up there for a minute. Again, going with the home and guest. They're guests in their home building. Left hand, Rubino, but not going to happen. And here comes Lewis and Clark out of backcourt, down by 4. Looking for Reeves, overplay. Gets it back after a save from going out of bounds. Rifle pass in the corner, down low it goes to Buckley. Foul called.
I think the challenge sometimes when you play Glacier Peak, we talked about this as a program, is you end up playing more defense than offense. And that's what they want. They're trying to create more possessions, and so you want them to play more defense for longer stretches instead of having that, I got to hurry to throw up a quick shot. And so that's kind of what's happened here with Lewis and Clark. They're taking that first thing, everything's been a little bit rushed, a little quicker than normal, so they've missed things they probably make. And then at the same time, they're going back and having to play more defense. And so that becomes a little more frustrating on the offensive side because you haven't scored in a little while, and it just compounds itself. You got to find that ability to kind of settle in and run good offense.
A couple of free throws, and it's a 14-12. Rubino had picked up her second personal foul, 7th team foul. 3:41 to play in the first half, 14-12 to score. The lead for Glacier Peak. Yes. They're the guest in their own building. I just have to keep remembering that. Here's a 3-point shot that's an air ball. Won't go for Guffey. But kept alive by GP, and the little runner's up and good by Malia Smith. Back to a 4-point lead. Glacier Peak equals their biggest lead of the ball game. You get a Let's Go Tigers from their fans. A few folks have made their way over here from Spokane. Shot won't go. A miss there by Zylak. Controlled by Glacier Peak. And Smith will try another that will not go. And the ball went out of bounds. LC will take the ball. And Shea Sandy checks in. Aaliyah Collins will go to the bench for Glacier Peak. And that's messing me up too. Glacier Peak sitting on the visiting bench.
Yeah, flipping things around on you.
And then a travel. Kind of an well, I'm not going to say unforced error. When you're playing Glacier Peak, everything's a forced error.
Yeah, it can just be a byproduct. I thought she just was a catch and a pivot. Didn't look anything too awry. She must have slid it, I think.
So with 2:45 to go in the first half, 16-12 the lead for Glacier Peak. And it's Grambo with the basketball. And an offensive foul.
Yeah, moving screen there on Holloman. She never set herself, didn't give the guard a chance to turn the corner. Easy call for Riaz.
TR Holloman will pick it up. Her first personal foul. 8 team fouls. Glacier Peak has committed 10 turnovers in this ball game. That's very un-Glacier Peak-like. We're still at 2:22 to play here in the first half. Long outside shot won't go for Lewis and Clark. That's Smith to Grambo. Now Guffey. Back over to Smith. Went into traffic. Steve Landreau had the call outside. Romeo Escalona said, you take it. We saw the same thing. And they're going to go 2 shots coming up.
Malia Smith.
Yeah, something that really helps GP out, I guarantee on Lewis and Clark's scouting report, you know, Grambo and Smith weren't the ones that they probably really were focused in on, but those two could certainly score. Malia especially, he's got a great trigger from distance. Good to see her put it on the floor there, pick up some free throws. They're moving forward, but I know they've got to be a couple of the leading scorers so far for GP.
Score remains 16-12 after a couple of missed free throws. Lewis and Clark with Bishop controlling the basketball. The corner to Arquette, back to Bishop again. Looking for Reeves, breaking to the hoop, won't get it, but then Cousins says, I'll take it, thank you. Jacinta Buckley with the offensive board and the bucket. And the ball's kicked out of bounds on the other end by Glacier Peak's Haley Grambo, and it'll be turned right back over to Lewis and Clark, and the Tigers with a chance to tie.
Yeah, as you can see, when Lewis and Clark ran some offense there, kind of extended that offensive possession. They got a good interior look, got a put back, and a bucket.
So LC, Buckley between the circles. She'll stop. She'll put it up for 3. Down it goes. And that will be our 4th lead change of the ball game. And Lewis and Clark back out to the lead. She's got 10 points in the ball game. It's 17-16 LC.
That was really nice. We've seen all different sorts of her game. Ability to stretch the floor.
We have a basket counts for Maya Erling. It'd be an and 1 here. Buckley picks up the foul, her first personal foul, 5th team foul.
But yeah, Buckley's ability to stretch the floor, go by somebody, post it, shoots it well from the free throw line. Certainly can do everything.
Free throw good. Lead is 2 for Glacier Peak. 19-17. 1 minute to play in the first half. Open 3 look. Rattles twice. But Reeves takes up space and grabs the rebound, put it back up and in, and ties the score at 19. Here's Collins. Step through, put it up and in on the other end. Back to a lead for GP. 33 seconds to go in the half. 23 on the shot clock right now. Buckley closed off there. I mean, somebody's open. Back out wide open for a 3 that won't go for Arquette. Down to 15-14. GP with it. Down to 12, down to 11. Down low they go to Sandy, trying to back in. Ball stripped away from her by Arquette. Down to 6, down to 4, down to 3. Another steal, won't go. One more time, won't go. That will bring us to halftime and a 21-19 lead, with Glacier Peak in the lead by a score of 21-19. And we're going to see if we can hear from Coach Brian Hill here in about 1 second go.
Coach looked pretty exhausted out there for it. Must be having fun.
Probably not as tired as they are, but no, they're working hard. This is good. What a great game.
Yeah. 2-point lead going into half. How would you grade your team's performance in that first half?
Got to give a grade. I'm a teacher, I guess. So I don't know. I thought defensively we're, hey, I think that's an A. Offensively, really that's credit to Lewis and Clark's defense, but probably that B- area. But their defense is good. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Thanks for the time, Coach.
Yeah. Hey, thanks so much.
Are you going to agree with the grades on when you enter on the computer?
Well, shoot, heat of the moment. I mean, 21-19. It's day 3. It's a great team. Now, Lewis and Clark, I think, as I checked before the game, I think is number 2 in the RPI. No slouches. Turn Lewis and Clark over as best they possibly can. I'd like to see Lewis and Clark be a little bit more deliberate on the offensive side of things, because I think if they can find a way to win. But if they turn it over and allow it to be loosey-goosey, which is the way GP likes to play, GP is going to come out here with a win.
And it would not be any kind of a surprise to see these two teams play later on, maybe even in that big woodshed down in Tacoma.
no question about it. It says a lot about programs that have been there a number of times. Both of these programs have.
As you have.
Thank you. It's an expectation,
right?
And these kind of games, environments are why you play them. And you've got many kids going through these circumstances for the first time, and that's the end goal. So I certainly wouldn't be surprised to see either one of these teams at the end of the year.
And I like it because you get parents that'll say, well, I just take that first weekend March off because we always go to and then you feel like you've let them down, right?
Yeah, no question about it. Well, it becomes something that's, you know, such a special thing for coaches and your kids in your program, and you like to make it an annual thing. There's no doubt about it. It's something that you want to continue to do. It's a pretty special place to be, and I know both of these teams have high aspirations for getting themselves back there.
But they don't just give it to you, do you?
No, you got to earn it. There's no question about it. And the season, you know, winter sports, basketball in general, is the longest sports season that we have in any high school sports. 17 weeks if you go from, you know, mid-November to March, you know, first week in March. That's a long time. So, you know, you got to navigate injuries, you got to navigate sicknesses, you got to navigate your league. You got to have some fortuitous bounces, I think, along the way, a little bit of luck as well. And then just hope at the right time of the year in February and March you're playing well at the, you know, most important time.
There you go. That's Coach Randy Edens. I'm Tom Lafferty along with Alex Glacier. Second half coming up. Our score at the half, it's Glacier Peak 21, Lewis and Clark 19. You're watching the Top of the Peak tournament on STSPN.com.
When you shop at Ace Hardware in Everett and Lake Stevens, we'll help you find what you're looking for and offer friendly advice too. Owners Greg and Christine are all about serving their customers and their community. They support local high school sports and many other community organizations and events. So the next time you need help with your to-do list or project around the house, bring it to Ace. They'll greet you at the door and help you find whatever you need fast. Show your support for locally owned businesses. Shop Ace Hardware just off Highway 9 in Lake Stevens and Everett Greenway in Everett. Ace is the place with the helpful hardware folks.
As records tumbled and enemies cried, came the birth of a legend. But we did not sleep. We did not rest. With knowledge gained and lessons learned, a legend was born to search and destroy. Respect the beast, but don't wake the monster.
Every year, thousands of groups depend on Adrenaline fundraising to help reach their financial goals. Adrenaline fundraising is about developing leaders through commitment, work ethic, and follow-through. Adrenaline has several products including gold cards, coupon books, cookie dough, donation programs, and many other options to help teams raise the funds needed for their programs. Adrenaline's new app called UpPay will help teams raise money while providing their supporters the ability to earn cash back on everyday purchases at places like Starbucks, Nike, Red Robin, and over 200 plus national retailers. Adrenaline Fundraising is this season's sponsor of the STSPN's Play of the Game Award.
Did you know that Speedway Chevrolet is part of the Lee Johnson Auto family? That means 84 years of serving you the LJ way. Need a truck? We have the perfect truck to fit your needs. Half tons, 1 ton, 2-wheel drives, and 4-wheel drives. Our finance specialists are here to help you, whether you have good credit or bad credit. We're just off Highway 522 at West Main Street in Monroe.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
We are all frustrated with the high cost of heating and cooling our homes. At GNS, we are completely changing the way you keep your home comfortable. Because we are Snohomish County's premier Lennox dealer, we can design a perfect system for you, one that will save you a lot of money on your utility bill. The Lennox Home Comfort System creates the ideal home environment. Enjoy innovation in every season with precise, quietly efficient Lennox heat pumps that keep your life simply perfect. Call GNS Heating, Cooling, and Electric today or visit us at gsheating.com.
McDaniel's Do-It Center is located in beautiful Snohomish, Washington. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, they are proud to provide the Snohomish Valley with exceptional hardware, tools, lawn and garden, and sporting goods products. Their commitment to delivering legendary customer service and their outstanding employees continue to make McDaniel's the best and one of the most recognized Do-It-Best centers in the nation. Stop by and experience for yourself the difference between McDaniel's and the big box stores. Discover why so many people are choosing to shop at McDaniel's.
You know how I've been wanting to buy this truck and I've been so busy with work that I haven't been able to make it into the dealership? Well, Rairdens of Monroe is actually bringing the vehicle to me. I gotta go, it looks like it's here right now, I'll call you back.
Too busy to schedule a test drive? Rairdens of Monroe will bring the test drive to you. It's part of our new concierge service. Personalized car shopping built for today's customer. It's another reason why Rairdens of Monroe is a customer service champion. Let us know what we can do for you.
Ready to come back. Here we go. And late arriving are the Lewis and Clark Tigers. It's 21-19. Is Alex?
I'm right here.
Well, maybe he'll give you 20 seconds. We'll see what happens. He's gonna get a quick question with the coach. Let's get out, Alex.
Coach, what was the message of the team at halftime?
Got to take care of the ball better. Too many turnovers. We got to get back on defense.
Thanks, Coach.
Coach, you with him?
Man, that sounds strikingly similar. Yeah, I mean it is what it is. It's one of those things. If you can, the live ball turnovers. We talked about this a little bit earlier. You give up points where GP is out in transition. You just put yourself behind the 8-ball, and that was the other thing you meant to transition defense. Try to get GP in the half court as best you possibly can. Run more offense for yourself, which will help your defense in turn.
Glacier Peak shot 8 of 21, 38%. Lewis and Clark shot 6 of 21, 28% in the first half. Lewis and Clark has committed 8 turnovers. Glacier Peak has committed 12 turnovers. Leading scorer Jacinta Buckley with 10 points for Lewis and Clark. And the leading scorer for Glacier Peak is Haley Grambo with 6 points in the ball game on 2 threes. Here's Buckley there, puts it up, and lays it up and in, and we are tied for the third time. Jacinta Buckley with the bucket, and it's a 21-21 tie.
Love the scripted possession right out of there at halftime. Try to get your best player a bucket, good scoring opportunity. That's what Lewis and Clark did right there.
Anybody's ball game, the championship game of the Top of the Peak tournament, first ever Top of the Peak tournament. You got to figure this is going to be an annual affair here. People have liked the way it's turned out. There's Collins down to 3, down to 2, down to 1 to shoot. They won't. So there you get a scripted bucket and you get a shot clock violation on the other end. Couldn't be any better for Lewis and Clark.
That's exactly what you're after. Get them in the half court, play good solid defense, try to come up with a rebound, and in that case a shot clock violation. That's a win-win on the offensive and defensive side.
And what do they do on this offensive possession? They'll swing it left side to Arquette. She shoots rattles, won't go. Reeves is there, just towers over everybody, grabs the rebound, but the outlet will go to Haley Grambo, and she plays for Glacier Peak. On the other end, turn, spin, fire, won't go for Erling. Knocked over a body, no call. That's good ball handling there by Buckley. Brought it up herself, went around a couple of defenders. Open three, look, good. Kaylee Bishop buries the three ball, and it's our sixth lead change. Lewis and Clark leads it here 24-21, equaling their biggest lead of the game.
GP a little bit out of sorts in transition there, gave up the wide open look, and Lewis and Clark knocked it down from distance.
Erling swings it right side, lay-in won't go, foul call. Madison Rubino with the miss. And the foul is going to be on Ariana Reeves, her second personal foul, first team foul. You see Brian Hill just calls his, four of the players that aren't shooting. Come over here, let's talk about this. First free throw is good, and Rubino will get another. Steve Landreau over explaining the foul. He put out the knee. He said she put out the knee, and Reeves, who picked up that foul, just got fouled.
Did a great job on the rebound there, keeping the basketball up, something we teach our post players all the time. You bring it down, you get those pesky guards that get to kind of swipe away from you. Keep the ball up, use that height to your advantage.
Erling with a foul, second personal, first team, second half. Full court pressure by Glacier Peak. Near steal, they do get a steal. Grambo, open three, no. Would have been huge, but the rebound grabbed by Arquette. And now they get into front court, but they can't hold on to it. And right back the other way, here is Glacier Peak, 11 turnovers. Here's the lay-in up, no, won't go. A miss there by Madison Rubino. And Lewis and Clark with a three ball on the way. Rattles off, no. A miss, we go back the other way. Collins brings it up for Glacier Peak. Grambo, back to Collins again. Up fake for the three. Buckley would have none of it. Now cross court, near side, Rubino, timeout. Brian Hill says, let's talk about it. He didn't like the way things have been going. 24-22 the score. We step aside. We're with a 5:14 to play in the third quarter. Back with more from Glacier Peak right after this timeout.
So I get called down to HR. I told him Tinseltoes started it. I was working on that all-sled drive system with that front axle disconnect when that idiot blasts me with a grease gun. So I call him a half-wit, which is being generous. He tells me to go elf myself.
Welcome back. And here is Glacier Peak out ready to go. So is Lewis and Clark. Baseline out of bounds for Glacier Peak with 13 seconds to go on the shot clock. Grambo throws it in. You thought there was 5?
No,
12
there for Lewis and Clark. Just no ball, you man. She just turns her head a quarter of a turn. It's a steal.
Shot won't go. Missed there by Guffey. Reeves grabs the rebound.
I'll give her credit for a great box out there, though.
Open three. Arquette will not go. Got it. They're going to say, no, last touched by Lewis and Clark. It'll be GP ball. 4:47 to go in the third. 2-point lead for Lewis and Clark.
So Glacier Peak here has sped them up, and so Lewis and Clark, last couple possessions, have taken some really quick shots, a little bit out of character. And if that continues, they're kind of running themselves into a little bit of danger zone.
Turn, spin, fire, no for Guffey. And just one shot there for Glacier Peak. Lewis and Clark brings it down. The runner on the way, no. And we're going to have free throws coming up here. Andy Zylak with the miss. And she will go to the free throw line. The foul is going to be on Rubino, her third personal foul, second team foul. Zylak at the line. First one, no. And she'll get another. We're going to have a sub. Next free throw, good. 25-22. Lewis and Clark has equaled their biggest lead of the game. That's Grambo. Uses the screen, veers to the left. Ball knocked away. Reeves just kind of reached in there and just knocked the ball away.
He's got good instincts, good basketball IQ. Knows when to kind of move feet and at the same time just extend that frame. Tough to shoot over the top of her there.
Baseline inbounds for Smith. Grambo gets it, 14 to shoot. Inside, back out to Grambo, down to 8 to shoot now. 3 ball on the way, offline, won't go, missed by Guffey. Almost into the hallway. And the ball knocked out of bounds by Glacier Peak. It'll be Lewis and Clark ball. We're 3:53 to go in the third. A 3-point lead for Lewis and Clark. Dribble all the way through. Somebody step in front of somebody, right?
Yeah, got to stop the basketball.
Zylak with it, 5-point lead, biggest lead of the game for Lewis and Clark. A miss on the other end, and here come the Tigers again. That's Buckley. Zylak gets it. Now to Reeves. She's wide open here in the corner, but here's a 3 on the way. That goes. Andy Zylak. And a timeout on the floor. Celebration, much celebration here by Lewis and Clark. Let's keep it right here during the timeout. Okay, Coach, what are you going to say? Let's talk about what you're going to say if you're Lewis and Clark. Hey, guys, keep it going.
Yeah, I think what happened there in transition, GP was a little bit out of sorts, had matched up appropriately, and again left a wide open shooter with an extended look, which, you know, again, you get to set your feet, shoot in rhythm. But again, you don't want to get into that kind of cat and mouse of being sped up and taking quick shots that aren't in your comfort zone. On the GP side of things, I thought there might have been a push in the back there on that lane opportunity.
Right.
Looked like there was one. You know, you got to move on next play. They're going to be fine. Plenty of time left in the game. You know, continue to take care of the basketball, do what you do. But on the Lewis and Clark side of things, be deliberate. I think it's going to be really important for them to trust their go-tos, if you will. So then that way, you know, their best players get the ball, you know, on multiple possessions in a row. And then GP just got to shoot with confidence like they did there in the first half.
What do you see, Alex Clausius?
That energy is still really high over here for LC, especially with this 8-point lead right now. The coach was getting into him, basically saying, let's not let up. We got to make this lead a little bit bigger just because they know how Glacier Peak can get back so fast.
Well, that's the thing, Coach, isn't it? Glacier Peak, bang, they can kick a couple of threes and a lay-in, and boom, we're tied again.
Oh, yeah, no question. You get loose with the basketball, and again, they put a little run of their own together, and this is tied right up.
Long outside shot that won't go. And Lewis and Clark has been grabbing a lot of rebounds here. That miss was by Malia Smith. And another timeout called here. It'll be a quick timeout called here by Lewis and Clark. We will take a break here with 2:56 to go in the third quarter. 30-22 the score. The lead for Lewis and Clark over Glacier Peak. Back after this.
Did you know that Speedway Chevrolet is part of the Lee Johnson Auto family? That means 84 years of serving you the LJ way. Need a truck? We have the perfect truck to fit your needs. Half tons, 1 ton, 2-wheel drives, and 4-wheel drives. Our finance specialists are here to help you, whether you have good credit or bad credit. We're just off Highway 522 at West Main Street in Monroe.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Here we go. It's an 8-point lead for the Lewis and Clark Tigers on Glacier Peak's home floor. And GP back on defense here. Lewis and Clark on the attack, 13 to shoot. Zylak down to 8 to shoot, down to 7. Buckley with it. Double team. Ball. Aaliyah Collins says, give me that thing. She takes it away from her. Now she'll dribble the length of the floor. She'll lay it up and in. Well, Coach, you'll take that, the steal and the coast-to-coast for the lay-in.
No question. Aaliyah is one of those that is one of the best going full court and being able to finish. She does such a masterful job of that big strength of her game.
The foul there is on Erling, her 3rd personal foul, 3rd team foul. Brian Hill up coaching. On the other end, Gabriel Medrano up coaching, jumping up and down. Cross court. Buckley, bang, down it goes for a three. She's got 15 points in the ball game. And that got Gabriel Medrano to give the fist bump, but a big, huge answer on the other end by Malia Smith.
Something she does so well, just a lack of recognition in transition on Lewis and Clark's behalf.
It was a 9-point lead. It's a 6-point lead now for LC. See if they can answer here. They swing it to Arquette. Now to Buckley. Bounce pass down low, but Caitlin Peters couldn't handle it, but it was knocked out of bounds by Glacier Peak with 10 on the shot clock. Minute 38 to go here in quarter 3. Feed it to Buckley, the low post, off the glass and in. Listen to Buckley.
That was a great entry pass, only where she could get it. Defense had no chance. Turn in a score for Buckley.
Collins looking. Go to Smith.
She's got that kind of range out there.
She'll dribble to the baseline, put it up with the right hand. Short arms it, no good. Rebound, Jamin Sides. Cross court, near side, Buckley. Changes direction there a little bit. Swing it back out to the top of the key. 15 to shoot, 53 on the game clock, third quarter. Overplay on the defense. Now we're going to have a jump ball. And the arrow is going to favor Glacier Peak. So GP basketball, 30 to shoot, 45 in the game. There's Collins. Now to Smith. Calls the play, taps the top of her head. Going in, little runner, won't go. Tiara Holloman. And foul called, and Holloman's going to go to the free throw line.
That defensive rotation right there, about a half step slow. And that's kind of the byproduct of Glacier Peak being able to shoot it from distance. You know, you don't want to collapse on the roll too soon because then that's a kick out three. Holloman benefited from that, getting a couple free throws here.
Peters picks up the foul, first personal. Second team foul. Holloman at the line, missed the first free throw. 32.7 to go in the third quarter. The lead is 8 points for Lewis and Clark. Next one will not go. Missed them both, but they get the rebound. Dribble through, Collins out, right side, Sandy good. Sandy, 35-29 the score. 19 seconds to go, shot clock is dead. Play for one shot. Or will they? Well, they'll play for a near turnover, then a foul, and it's going to be on Collins.
Going the other way.
Oh, no, the other way. They're going to call second personal foul, third team foul. I'm not sure where I see a foul there. They're both going after the ball.
Yeah, just a little out of sorts. You know, on Lewis and Clark's behalf, Rogers' behalf. You just don't want to give up another possession in this instance, especially late in the quarter.
Here's Buckley, here's Holloman, or I guess we're going to come to the end of, it was Collins with it. So no fouls there. We head to the final quarter. 35-29, Lewis and Clark with the lead. 8 minutes to play, the championship game of the tournament. Back with more after this.
Every year, thousands of groups depend on Adrenaline Fundraising to help reach their financial goals. Adrenaline Fundraising is about developing leaders through commitment, work ethic, and follow through. Adrenaline has several products including gold cards, coupon books, cookie dough, donation programs, and many other options to help teams raise the funds needed for their programs. Adrenaline's new app called UpPay will help teams raise money while providing their supporters the ability to earn cash back on everyday purchases at places like Starbucks, Nike, Red Robin, and over 200 plus national retailers. Adrenaline Fundraising is this season's sponsor of the STSPN's Play of the Game Award.
You know that test drive I've been trying to get to? You're not going to believe this, but Raritan's of Monroe just delivered it to my work. I gotta go.
Too busy to schedule a test drive? Raritan's of Monroe will bring the test drive to you. It's part of our new concierge service.
Varsity coach.
That's it.
That's it. Welcome back. Shooting in the third quarter, Glacier Peak was 3 of 12 for 25% from the field. 6 of 9 was Lewis and Clark, 66%. Glacier Peak only hit 1 of 4 free throws. And it's a 35-29 score. Here's a dribble drive in, and they're going to call the offensive foul. It's a good call. Sativa Rogers went airborne before she passed the ball off, and the defender was right under there.
It's happened a couple times now. She left her feet and again picked up some offensive fouls just because she's a little out of control. Happened there late in the third as well. She just needs to take a deep breath, settle down, give her Lewis and Clark a couple of solid minutes here so her starters can get back and rest it up.
Third personal foul on Rogers, 4th team. 15th turnover. And Glacier Peak with the ball down by 6 on their home floor. There's Collins. Oh, almost got knocked over there. They'll feed it down low. Little turn, spin, fire, won't go. Missed by Rubino. And you can see Brian Hill is up exhorting his players.
He's playing defense himself over there.
That's right. 6th man. Ball goes out of bounds. Kicked out of bounds by Maya Erling. It'll be Lewis and Clark ball. So Elsie with it in the white uniforms, moving to our left, 13 to shoot. Near steal is a steal. Collins with it. Collins says, I'll take it myself, and I'll go hard to the deck. Rogers just picked up her 4th foul within the last about 45 seconds. And Collins will go to the free throw line. And Rogers picks up her 4th personal foul. 5 team fouls.
Number 22, Aaliyah Collins.
And Rogers will come to the bench. Collins at the line. First one is good.
For Lewis and Clark, number 15.
And it'll be Andy Zylak checking in for Lewis and Clark. Reeves will come back in as well. Collins, that's free throw, good.
The game for Lewis and Clark, number 44, Anna Reeves.
Ariana Collins comes in. And Jamin Sides goes to the bench. Full court pressure by Glacier Peak. Buckley to Zylak. Back out to Buckley. Open 3 ball. Front of the iron, no good. Collins grabs a rebound. Goes around the defender. Stops, pops from 18 and puts it in. That's a 2. The 2 ball inside the line, but it's now a 2-point ball game, 35-33. Collins got 11 points in the ball game. Dribble drive in. Reeves gets it, puts it up. Too hard, no good. Rebound, Collins. Brings it out of backcourt herself. Looking, firing, put it up. Good. By Rubino. We're tied at 35. Just what we mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where you can't run with her. You need to sprint back, stop the basketball, force that pass. They were just running with her back in transition. They gave up a layup.
Buckley got an underhand, scoops it over to a teammate. They'll get it down to Reeves off the glass and in.
Basket by number 44, Anna Reeves.
Scripted possessions got to be important. Get Lewis and Clark to settle down and run stuff.
Lewis and Clark gets a steal off a bad pass. So Tigers back with the ball. 5:40 to play. Buckley, Zylak, corner, 3, won't go. Bishop with the miss. Rebound controlled by Guffey. Here come the Grizzlies. Holloman, Grambo. Guffey with it. Long cross court, wide open. 3 ball, bang, down it goes. Madison Rubino with the bucket. And it's back to a Glacier Peak lead, our 7th lead change of the ball game. Up by 1, 38-37. 5 minutes to play. Ball kicked. Oh, they're going to say off of Lewis and Clark and out of bounds. Glacier Peak has it.
The right call right there, went right off of her foot. Go the other direction.
This is a good ball game.
It's fantastic.
Pass to the left side. Get it down to Rambo. Back out, open three, go! Sydney Guffey. And it's out to a 4-point lead and a timeout called by Lewis and Clark.
Full timeout called by Lewis.
As they take a timeout, we will as well. 4:35 to play in the game. 41-37, Glacier Peak leading Lewis and Clark. Back with more after this timeout.
When you shop at Ace Hardware in Everett and Lake Stevens, we'll help you find what you're looking for and offer friendly advice too. Owners Greg and Christine are all about serving their customers and their community. They support local high school sports and many other community organizations and events. So the next time you need help with your to-do list or project around the house, bring it to Ace. They'll greet you at the door and help you find whatever you need fast. Show your support for locally owned businesses. Shop Ace Hardware just off Highway 9 in Lake Stevens and Everett Greenway in Everett. Ace is the place for the helpful hardware folks.
You know that test drive I've been trying to get to? You're not going to believe this, but Raritan's of Monroe just delivered it to my work. I gotta go.
Too busy to schedule a test drive? Raritan's of Monroe will bring the test drive to you. It's part of our new concierge service.
We're ready to go. Final 4 minutes or so, 4+ minutes of this ball game. 41-37, Glacier Peak with the lead. They kind of took the middle of the second to the middle of the third quarter off. They kind of coasted there for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's, again, more probably a byproduct of the 3 days. You know, you got to get your legs back. Now we've got a little momentum, playing with some confidence.
Ball on the ground. We're going back the other way. So held ball will go to GP. So here we go. Out of bounds for the Grizzlies. And a 4-point lead. Now they can slow it down a little bit. Or do you want to?
Just keep doing what you've been doing. You've run a couple good things for kids that have gotten open looks, playing with confidence.
Uh-oh, steal. Grabbed by Zylak. Collins good defensively, but kind of out of control is Buckley, but she gets fouled on the way in. And really, no choice there for Collins. She was the only one back playing defense.
Yeah, she's not in any sort of foul trouble at this stage, so probably a good foul to take. You know, force them to shoot 2 free throws. Certainly in a circumstance where you're up 4, good chance to see what happens, and then obviously a positive right there.
Collins first free throw, or Collins gets the foul. Second personal foul, 4th team foul. First free throw by Buckley is no good. She gets another. That is good. Lead is 3, 41-38. 4 minutes to play. Grambo. Working the ball. Pretty good defense there.
Great defense.
As Grambo tries to penetrate it, can't, but then she does, gets the ball back, finds an open teammate, and that won't go for Rubino, and a foul call. Bodies on the floor, and the whistle. And they're going to call this one on Sydney Guffey. For Guffey, second personal foul, 5th team foul. With all the authority you have, can you get rid of the D-up called by a girls basketball team? The D-up chant?
No. That's something that, you know, comes from the kids, and they want to play that kind of energy and want to. More power to them.
So do
not that I'm a big fan of
D-up, that whole thing?
I'm
no?
not a big fan.
Okay, good.
Just go play defense and then.
The D-up will take care of itself.
Exactly right.
Down low, turned over. Buckley with it. She bounces it forward to Arquette. 3:12 to play. The lead is 3 for Glacier Peak on their home floor in their first ever home tournament. Bounce pass left corner, wide open 3, no, by Arquette. Ball goes out of bounds, last touch by Arquette, so it will be GP ball. And so GP will have it, leading by 3, inside 3 minutes now to play in the game. Grambo brings it up. Gives it, just hands it to Collins. She spins around. Now dribble in off the glass. That's a big bucket there by Madison Rubino.
Madison Rubino.
Fantastic hoop, especially at this time of the game. Under 3 to go, 5-point lead. Just got to play good, solid defense right here.
7 points in this quarter. Is a steal by Grambo. Length of the floor, laying up. It's good.
Steal and a basket, number 1, Haley.
20 turnovers for Lewis and Clark. 2:15 to play, and the lead is 7 points. And a timeout on the floor called by Lewis and Clark, their head coach Gabriel Medrano. Well, I guess Glacier Peak saved their best for last.
Yeah, no question. I think in these kind of games and environments, you know, whether it's tournament here during December or state tournament playoffs for that matter, what comes down to, especially good teams, you're going to have each other real well scouted. You're going to have a good feel for what's coming. But there's going to be times where you got to be opportunistic, and that's going to be the difference here in the fourth quarter. Glacier Peak's made some plays, jumped in front of some loose ball in terms of passes. Lewis and Clark's been a little bit quick because they felt like they've had a shot, but it's been a byproduct of GP kind of rushing them a smidge, and so it hasn't translated into points and opportunities for Lewis and Clark. It certainly has for Glacier Peak.
Let's go down to Alex, see what he's seeing down there. Good energy in the building right now.
Oh, great energy in the building. I'm trying to get as close as I can to the GP bench right now. I'm trying to be kind of investigative, but Coach Hill's just encouraging them and to say, hey, only a minute or two left here. They can be victorious and come in first in the first tournament here, the first top of the peak tournament.
So Lewis and Clark kind of saunters out there. They're ready to go. They've got to find a little more energy right now with 2 minutes to go. Still in it, but need a bucket here. Ball knocked out of bounds. Oh, I thought Glacier Peak was last to touch it. They weren't. It was last touched by Lewis and Clark. The Grizzlies can almost put this one away.
Yeah, a bucket here is going to make it tremendously challenging. Brian taking the air out of the ball. That's a first.
In the history of basketball. Oh, Colin.
Not a travel?
Not a travel. She ran into Ariana Reeves. It was like running into that brick wall at the end of the floor. I don't think Reeves felt it.
Not at all. And she stood her ground. A good no call on that behalf, too. I mean, she gets out of that space.
Wow. And now a dribble and a drive and a foul is going to be called here. I'm still getting over your Brian's taking air out of the ball. That's a first.
Well, I get it. Shoot, you're up 7. Make them have to come get you. Trust your ability to knock free throws down here at the stretch.
Buckley, 3, no. Gets her own rebound. That's your UNLV commit, grabbing her own rebound off the miss. They work it to the perimeter, looking for Reeves, but it's an overplay of the defense and it's going to be stolen away by Rubino. Minute 14 to go and a 7-point lead. Glacier Peak says time out on the floor. And they will slow things down and take a timeout with 22 on the shot clock, a minute 10 to go in the fourth quarter. Time to talk about our player of the game. Who do you like in this one?
Gosh, that's a tough one. Man, you could go a few different directions with this one. I thought Rubino was coming up with the timely 3 there. Come up with some pretty heady defensive plays. That steal right there in that possession.
Right.
One of the, I think, probably overlooked players on Brian's team, but has done some really, really good things and has improved a ton from last year. She's one of those X factors that you don't maybe put at the top of your scouting report, but one of those that you have to have because she does a lot of the dirty work, and good to see her have some success against a high-quality opponent in Lewis and Clark.
Alex Rubino with 10 points. Who do you like?
I was going to go that exact same route as well. She had a couple of timely buckets to really increase that lead where it goes from a 2 to a 4-point lead, or I think it was even a 3 to a 5. So I'm right there with Coach Edens on Megan Rubino.
Madison Rubino. So
Yeah.
I think we're going to go with, she already had it? Sorry, boys, she already had it in the tournament.
We'll go back to the drawing board.
Collins has 11 points. Inbounds here. That's Collins there with the basketball. Minute 5 to play. Collins on the dribble. as they work it out top. Down to 6 to shoot. Collins with it. Little runner going in, laying up good. There you go. There's Collins. Down to 40 seconds to go. And near steal. Collins almost had the steal back. Buckley with it. She'll shoot. Air ball won't go. Grambo grabs the board. And the shot clock is dead, and they can run it out. We're going to have a foul call. Just because we like to pass it around, should we go with Collins?
Well, yeah, I mean, she's the one that, you know, again, certainly the player that steps on the gas for them. Obviously, a timely hoop there. It's going to put this really kind of out of reach. Lewis and Clark's at the situation where they've got to foul at this stage if they can't come up with a quick steal.
Yeah, we'll go with Collins just because, well, you know, sometimes you've had teams like this too. There isn't a best player. We all played well.
Right, yeah, no, I mean, you look at their scoring for the season, it's tremendously balanced. It can be a different player any night. Just kind of depends on matchups and who you're going to see. She's certainly leader of the pack at 11.2, but that's not certainly a gaudy number that you might expect in some other teams.
And I would think scouting them and then trying to decide a game plan against a team that's so balanced, you can't say, okay, we know that Susie over here scores 40 a game. We have to box her out.
Right. No, that's exactly right. You know, you're going to have to be super sharp and hope you get a little lucky on some shots from now, time to time, and ultimately somebody doesn't get cooking, because then you're in for a really long night because they have such great balance.
And we're going to have a timeout called here after the free throws. 49-38. So it's 11 points now. This was a 2-3 point ball game right here in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, no question. Lewis and Clark got a little loose with it late, but give credit to Glacier Peak, their energy and ability to, play an extended extended game, 3 games in a row, really bodes well because they're not tremendously deep. Their group is pretty limited in terms of personnel-wise, but they can all bring it, play great defense. And again, you got to be opportunistic in these kind of games. And here in the fourth quarter, Glacier Peak certainly was.
So Glacier Peak with the lead here, 49-38, their biggest lead of the game. Glacier Peak with their 11-point lead, biggest lead. And Lewis and Clark had a 9-point lead in that third quarter. But Glacier Peak has scored 20 points here in this quarter. 15 seconds to go. And LC will bring it up. They work it to the corner. Down to 5, down to 4. That's Arquette off the window. Won't go, but the follow-up is going to be good, and Jacinta Buckley will get the final bucket of the ball game, and will be a final score of 49-40. So Glacier Peak holds Lewis and Clark to just 5 points in the quarter while scoring 20 and get the win 49-40. And we're going to have our player of the game. Alex will be talking to her in just a moment. Aaliyah Collins. Brought to you by Adrenaline Fundraising. Every year, thousands of groups depend on Adrenaline Fundraising to help reach their financial goals. Adrenaline Fundraising is this season's sponsor of the STSPN's Player of the Game. So we're going to have now we're going to get some of those T-shirts. Let's go down to Alex. Alex. Okay, look up here. Here we go.
Yeah, we got to go all the way up here. Aaliyah, what's this mean? Being at home, winning a tournament, especially against an opponent like Lewis and Clark?
It means so good, honestly, because we lost to them trying to get to state last year, and ever since then we've just been out for blood to get them again, and it feels so good. This is our home court. I don't know who they think they are trying to step on here, trying to beat us.
Love it, love it. I thought the momentum really switched when you did that nice pull-up 3, foot on the line 3. What was going through your mind right there? That's a big shot.
Well, I was honestly, I'm just trying to get our team up because we were going through some struggles. And I was trying to go out there and get some energy so I can have it build up on them too. And I was on an adrenaline rush, and I didn't want to lose either.
Last question, I'll let you go. Coach Hill, defensively, what are your defensive drills in practice? Does he just really emphasize that?
Honestly, at practices we just push a lot and like I go through game situations, like thinking that we're in a game, and then we try to work hard for basketball and for the defensive end. So yeah.
Gotcha. Thanks so much. Go get that nice T-shirt right over there. Back up to you guys.
Thank you very much. Let's get the leading scorer for Lewis and Clark was the 20 points of Jacinta Buckley. Leading scorer was 13 points of Aaliyah Collins for Glacier Peak. And Coach Randy Edens, your thought on the tournament as a whole and this game in particular?
Well, fantastic environment. There's no doubt about it. And obviously, you bring this collection of teams together. All of them are going to walk out of here with a lot learned about their teams, respectively. Hopefully, a lot walked out of here healthy, which is the other kind of key piece. And then, of course, for Glacier Peak to come out of here victorious, they had to go through a set of quality teams that's going to get them really tested for the playoffs and down the road, hopefully in the state tournament. And what an event. They did a great job, and obviously it's going to be pretty special for them to be able to come out here as champions.
Well, thanks very much for being with us.
Hey, thanks for having me once again. Appreciate it.
You bet. That's Lake Stevens coach Randy Edens. For Buddy Patrick, for Alex Glacier, for Todd Elvig and the crew. Again, thank you for being with us here in the Top of the Peak tournament. The final score in the championship game, the Glacier Peak Grizzlies 49, the Lewis and Clark Tigers 40. Good night, everybody.